The objective of this research basically is to build on an initiative that already took place, which is Tariqak Aman, taking place with the leadership of the Ministry of Social Solidarity and one of the platforms, to inform more on platform-mediated work, especially with respect to groundwork and delivery workers, because there is a lot of things happening in this space, but very little is known about what is happening, in the sense that there is not enough data. And the objective of this research basically is to understand more about the data, to inform policymakers, as well as to look into the dynamics of the relationships between the various players. The interviewees spoke about many challenges, and as a matter of fact, the picture that they have painted was not a very rosy picture. On the contrary, it was quite a bleak picture, because they were working in the private sector before the pandemic, and they shifted to the digital or gig economy, and they shifted to this economy because of need, because of necessity, rather than because of the opportunity. And as such, they lack social protection. They are working under working conditions that are very difficult, as well as the precarity of the jobs that they are having. So it's not like a real job. It's even the contracts are not there in place. So it provides employment opportunities in their brain, but as a matter of fact, it's not a real employment opportunity. And they understand that this is temporary until they find better opportunities in the future. While they might see that their income or their wages are helping them make ends meet to some extent, yet we can see that while the wages are, if you equate them to monthly wages, they're above the minimum wage, yet they work for very long hours, and their working hours could exceed more than 60 hours per week. So while flexibility could be an aspect, but they're flexible in terms of extending their working hours, rather than using the time as in work-life balance and that sort of thing. The specific challenges to delivery workers, I mentioned the working conditions, and of course the working conditions relate to the fact that they are using equipment that might be theirs, that's not provided by the platform. So there are lots of costs that are factored on their end, in terms of also the access and affordability of services like the internet is becoming more expensive these days, and they're not provided with protective gear, for example. So except for a few platforms, but the majority do not provide protective gear, and they're at risk of accidents happening, and especially with women, because while the space is not, very heavily populated with women, but some women do participate in that type of work. And when they participate, they are at a double disadvantage, because they are also sort of harassed while they're on the street, and they're given hard time while on the street. One of our key informant interviewees mentioned that she was sort of harassed by a microbus to the extent that her bike broke down, and she was sort of standing there without anybody to support her because the bike broke down. The platform will not pay for her bike, and she has to accommodate for that from the very little income that she gets. So the situation is not really a good one. The challenges are many, and most of these platform workers tend to be young people. They tend to be very well educated, or educated if you want to say, and they were aspiring for better options in life, but they had to do with what is available. The majority of the platform workers are invisible to the policy makers. When we brought to their attention the issue of social protection, some of them were not aware of the concept, and those who were aware thought that if they needed to apply for social protection, that would mean a lot of bureaucracy, and they will lose a lot of time, which is very precious for them to get income. So they're not opting for that. And some might also be afraid that they come to the surface and might go into issues of taxation and the sort. So there are many issues and challenges that they brought to the forefront. However, it would be good when we had sort of a tripartite workshop and we had one of the workers represented. They were very sort of keen to get approached on social protection and have the procedures brought to their hands in a very easy and to handle way, and they would be open for that, and they would look for that because with the type of work they're doing, they're spending so many hours that's taxing on their bodies, and they're working under harsh conditions, whether it's the heat or the cold. So they are liable to accidents, they are liable to many things that might affect their productivity. So they would be happy to land on a social protection cushion if it is availed easily and readily for them. There are several, and putting it down to one, I would strongly advocate for a lot on dialogue, a lot on the need to have social dialogue between the platform workers, the government, as well as the platform operators, because each group has their own thoughts of what is right, and it's important that they all agree on what is the best outcome especially for the workers to have, decent work and decent jobs, because what we're seeing is the lack of that. And when we had our key informant interviews and subject matter expert interviews, the notion of decent work was not clear in everybody's eye as per the ILO definition and the sort. So each part of the community saw decent work in a certain way. So I think they need to bring it all together and come to a consensus to what entails decent work, and come to legislations that support the agreement. Of course, when we speak about dialogue, we need to ensure that there is representation. And when we have representation, the representation has to come from the workers' side. So whether they put themselves into a syndicate or a trade union or even a community-based organization, if all the processes to have this in place. But also when we speak about the platforms or the employer side, they are also fragmented. They are all over the place themselves. So they need also to put their act together and come together as an employer's organization, so that we can have a sort of viable dialogue between the various parties, with the interests of all parties, clearly stated. The project will help in many ways, because the project brings also the experience of several countries. So there is cross-fertilization across countries that have the same conditions, but it's also important to see the different viewpoints from various countries. And the dialogue, the research will also inform the dialogue, because the research has been advocating for data and for the inclusion of data in national statistics, or leveraging big data that might be available on the platforms. So the research is very important in bringing the platform workers, especially the ground workers, into the vision of the policymakers, because right now they're really invisible, except with a few exceptions, but they're very invisible. The research that's conducted is minimal, if at all. So what this research aims to do is just to bring this to the surface, so that the necessary dialogue takes place, and accordingly the right policy, not only recommendations, but formulations and implementation.